I know we're here to talk about Doctor Who Season 7, Episode 9, Cold War. But do you understand what Cold War even means? Quick history lesson. The Cold War was a political and ideological rivalry between the United States and Russia, or the Soviet Union at the time. And their allies were in on it on both sides. Russia had their allies, the United States had their allies. And this lasted from 1947 all the way to 1989. And it was caused because neither one of those two countries, being major superpowers in the world, could agree on how to manage Germany after World War II. They had very different views on democracy and communism, and it caused a standoff. The standoff was, we had nuclear weapons, they had nuclear weapons. And if we fired ours, they would fire theirs, and we would both kill each other and destroy the entire planet. Mutually assured destruction. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steed, Noob from the Ville. So let's just jump right into it. Quick recap of Cold War. And for this particular media therapy deep dive, I'm calling it mutually assured destruction. The Doctor and Clara are on the TARDIS, and somehow, someway, it ends up finding its way onto a Soviet submarine in 1983 that is patrolling the North Pole. On the submarine, they have found something encased in a block of ice. Now, there's a professor on board who swears up and down that this is a mammoth. One of the soldiers on board becomes kind of enamored with what's in the block of ice, and he starts to thaw it out. Lo and behold, it is an ice warrior, the Grand Marshal Skaudak, who is an ice warrior from Mars, and they are great warriors, and that's what they do. They fight. They looking for a fight. They want all the smoke. Now, when General Skaudak comes out of the ice, he attacks the first soldier he sees. He's like, listen, I don't know what's going on, but I'm awake. That's your ass. The Soviets, for one, they think that the Doctor and Clara are a threat. They know that they're British, and British are the allies of America, so what the hell? How'd you get on this submarine? Y'all are spies. That's not something to easily argue yourself out of, because you're many leagues underneath the sea on an enclosed ship. You just pop up out of thin air. Not only that, the TARDIS recognizes that it's in trouble, and the Doctor took off a safeguard so that the TARDIS, when it's in trouble, it vanishes. It gets out of there and saves itself. Grand Marshal Skaudak is on the submarine. He realizes that he's been encased in ice for 5,000 years. The Doctor tells him that his people are still around, but they're not on Earth anymore, and they're not on Mars. So the General thinks that he is the only one left. He ain't got shit to lose. But at that time, one of the Soviet soldiers knocks him out. He thinks he's doing everybody a favor. The Doctor's like, you dummy. Do you know what you just done? You attacked a people who are known for fighting. That's what they do. That's what they like to do. Now you have just done the rudest thing ever. He is going to take out his vengeance on all of us. He's going to kill us all because you attacked him. So you attacked him. He ain't got nothing to lose. I kill everybody. Great. Skaudak is attacking everybody. Like, Clara went to go talk to him and talk him down off the ledge. Skaudak knew that the Doctor was listening, but he's like, listen, whatever. He learned from the XO on the sub that on Earth they have something called mutually assured destruction. We won't fire these nukes at America because they'll fire nukes at Russia. So, you know, as long as I hold mine, you hold yours. Skaldex says, great, I got nothing to lose, so I'll just fire these nukes on the sub, then they'll fire their nukes, and I'll kill all you humans, because how dare you attack me? How dare you? Now, while he's running amok on this submarine, he kills 3 soldiers. And he put out a distress call earlier to have his little Martian buddies come pick him up, you know what I'm saying, to swing by, to pull up in the, you know, their little spaceship Uber and get him. But since he thinks he's the last one left, he turned his little beacon off and he's like, you know what? It is what it is. We all gonna die today. Now, the submarine, just because of the sabotage that Skaldex was doing to get to the missile bay so he could launch the missiles and get control of the keys or whatever, the buttons, the code to launch the missiles, the submarine starts to sink and it lands on a ledge, a little ridge underneath the ocean. And that's when the TARDIS said, oh, we about to sink? Oh, I'm gonna holler at you. And it just so happens, just when the sub is about to go down and all hope seems to be lost, hey, the Martian Uber, the Martian lift, pulls up, hits the tractor beam, pulls the whole submarine out of the water. Skaldex is like, ah, but he had already started the countdown. He was like, ain't nobody playing no games. Everybody gonna die, son, that's what I said. But when his people pulled up, he's like, oh, maybe I'm not alone, you know, like, oh, okay. And the Doctor and Clara keep reaching out to Skaldex as he's pulled up to his own ship. And it's like, listen, we weren't trying to harm you. Show mercy. You don't have to do this. We wanted to get you to your people. We wanted you to be safe and go off with your people and do what it is you do. Go colonize, go kill some other people on another planet, not here. So Skaldex is like, okay, I give you this one. And remotely he turns off the missiles. And then the Doctor finds out that the TARDIS is in the South Pole and he's gonna need a ride or something to get back to the TARDIS. So him and Clara make it out of this, you know, unscathed. Clara had a close call. Skaldex almost got her ass. He was not playing no games. I'm gonna make this really brief because this is it's just one of those topics that is not even pleasant to talk about sometimes, you know. It's the whole thing about mutually assured discussion is it's a lose-lose situation. In life, we want to have a win-win situation. That's great. That's optimal. But this is lose-lose. Now, you know I like my quotes. I do. I have 2. And they're actually, not that they come from famous people, but they're famous sayings that happen in TV shows that you may have seen. So the first one was said by Jimmy McGill in Better Call Saul. And, you know, Better Call Saul was the spinoff from Breaking Bad. And he says, it's called mutually assured destruction. So if I go down, you go down. Simple. The second quote, I like this. And I can't remember if this was actually said by Ruth Langmore or by Helen Pierce. But I know that they were having a conversation between the 2 of them. I think Ruth said it. But this comes from the TV show Ozark. And the quote is, maybe that's the only way to truly make a marriage last. Make it impossible to blow up without the shockwaves swallowing everyone. Mutually assured destruction. How do you talk about a lose-lose situation? And I decided to do the second quote around marriage. And I'm not talking about my marriage per se, my divorce. The last deep dive I did was about sacrifice. And when someone's not willing to make a sacrifice, a lot of times the two people who find themselves at odds almost go for mutually assured destruction. You did this to me, so I'm going to do this to you. And in this society that we live on, this society that we live in, this society of the side piece, that's actually what we have a lot of, or what social media and reality TV lead us to believe. You do me, I'll do you. You cheated? Well, how's it feel when I cheat? And sometimes it is not only mutually assured destruction, but it's a mutually assured stupidity. And without the notion of sacrifice, without the notion of compromise, without the notion of civility and a little bit of humility, that's what you're left with. Two people who destroy each other. The problem is especially if you're dating, even if you're not dating, trying to meet someone in this climate is impossible. It's not impossible. There's plenty of people out there that you could meet if you're in the right places, especially like the dating online thing. You might see someone who's perfect for you, but they live hundreds of miles away from you. And like, what good does that do me? Relationships that don't have sacrifice, that don't have compromise, end up being lose-lose situations. But who loses? Both parties involved? God forbid there be kids involved. But you know who else loses that we never think about because it's not important to us at the time? Is the next person that you encounter. Because many times, and I have done it, I have absolutely done it. And I have been with people that have done it to me, is when your heart is not healed and you get into another relationship, my ex-wife said to me once that when you are wounded and you don't allow yourself to heal, then you get into another relationship and bleed all over the person who didn't cut you. And sometimes that is true. You take out your past hurts on a person you're currently with. I've always hated the saying that the best way to get over someone is to get under someone. I hate that saying because I don't think it's true. It may feel good in the moment, but I don't think that's true. You are no good to anyone when you're healed, and unfortunately, because everyone works differently, who knows how long it takes to heal you, heal your heart. I've had instances, of course I'm not going to say any names, but I've had instances, some of my partners I knew who were so hurt that they didn't give a damn about mutually assured destruction. Matter of fact, they looked to destroy people. They were so hurt they wanted to take people down with them. And we have a lot of people, this society that we live in today, lets you think that it's okay to be that way. We have people that have all of this entitlement. That's a whole different discussion. I'm not going to even get into that. And it's crazy how this particular deep dive goes hand in hand with the one that just came before it about sacrifice. This particular situation in Doctor Who Grand Marshal Skaldak was looking at mutually assured destruction. He wanted to destroy the Earth because he was hurt. He didn't feel he had anything left to lose, so I'm going to take everyone down with me. But in the end, it took the Doctor and Clara to sacrifice themselves and plead for mercy, not for themselves, but for the human race as a whole. And sometimes that's exactly what it takes. It takes someone to step up to the plate. And it's very easy to look at that as weakness, when in fact it's bravery. It's strength. When you realize it's not about you. You need to do what you need to do to heal so that you don't take people down with you. Because why would you want to be in a relationship that you know from the onset is lose-lose? This is Rakai Steed, Noob from the Ville. Make sure that you like, comment, and share this as much as possible. What do you think about what I said? Make sure you leave it in the comments. Have you ever had any instances of mutually assured destruction? You was willing to take them down with you? See it all the time in, gangster movies and movies, especially criminals. If I go down, you go down. And if you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, just right there. Click it. Right, just click it. It's that easy. Whatever you do, make sure it's about this. But just as much as that, it's got to be about this.